All right, so our second way is the sun. If you shine a light on fear, it dissipates, right? So fear and confidence, think of them like on a continuum. If you have a lot of fear, you likely don't have a lot of confidence. But if you have a lot of confidence, you likely have less fear. You're never going to get rid of fear altogether. We're human, but you can minimize it. Anxiety and worry give power to the problem. You've got to shine the light, dry up the fear. Here are common patterns that affect our well-being, and I think these are especially true for women. And there are three sort of counter strategies for each of these. The what if game, what we talked about that earlier, not being good enough, people pleasing. And again, it's okay to, you want to make like your partner happy or whatever, but this is again going to the extreme. This is an unhealthy version. This is going too far. Imposter syndrome, worrying or wondering, oh no, is it really okay? That I've done this, and being in that state about it. The comparison trap, comparing yourself to others, doesn't lead to anything good. Oh, she's prettier, she's more successful, she has a better body, she's a better mother. Now, fear is not truth. And I just really want to emphasize that. Fear is not truth. I want to focus on one today in our time together, and that is the comparison trap. The comparison trap, I think these three strategies are really good. Limiting your social media. That doesn't mean you don't do social media. It just means you want to read, if there are certain accounts that trigger you, then that would be something for you to be strong enough to not follow those people. I want to tell you a couple tips that have worked for me personally. And again, take this idea or come up with your own. That's nothing wrong with that. I have not allowed myself anymore to look at the number of followers that certain accounts have, because I think when we go to compare ourselves, we typically subconsciously are looking to do one of two things. We are looking to feel better about ourselves, like, oh, she doesn't have that many followers. Okay, yeah, I'm doing real good. I'm doing real good. Or you want to feel bad about yourself. Oh, she's got so many followers. She's doing so well. And then I feel bad about myself. I'd say very rarely do you compare and you're like, oh, I'm right where I should be. This is so great. So it's typically one or the other. So become more aware of that. So vanity metrics, you got to be real careful with those. For myself, and again, this is what works for me. I look at social media once a day, typically, it's not a forever thing, but typically look at it once a day. I don't turn my notifications on, I turn them off. I want to be in control of when I participate in social media and not having control me. Again, maybe that's not an issue for you. Also for myself, I don't follow famous people. I like a good People magazine, but I just don't follow famous people. And that, we could get into the whys of that, but we're not doing that today. That's what works for me. Just something for you to think about. Focusing on your personal growth would be the second thing. Get in your own lane and be concerned with your own lane. Focus on where you are on your achievements for progress and growth. And then we've heard a lot about gratitude for a long time. Thankfully, cultivating that gratitude for where you are, turn around and take a look at where you've been and where you are now. It's so important. And then your unique qualities that you have, that's a place to be grateful. You can do the gratitude journal. At the end of the day, you can say, these are the 5 things that I'm so grateful for right now, right here today. I mean, it can be as simple as like, I will say, I'm breathing. Okay, that's good. My heart appears to be beating. That's good. I mean, again, these things take practice. Change requires awareness of thoughts, behaviors, then a decision and a plan. That's what you need to change to make any change. And when it comes to change, I also want to emphasize, maybe you want to do something new, or maybe you want to grow in something and do something better. They're both good. They're both good. Okay, so our last area would be Oh, we're doing pretty good on time. Our last area is fertilizer. Look at all those different kinds of fertilizer, right? All kinds of different kinds. You need to sprinkle the confidence in here to make you feel like, look how happy she is in that little outfit with her orange fanny pack in that picture. She's feeling real good. So I've identified 5 P's that I feel like help you on the road to confidence. It starts with the physical, where I'm sitting, but I can sit up tall. I can put my head up, and I always like to kind of, get my hair going up a little bit here. My head up, my chest out, and I will tell you, right before I came on here, I put on a little bit of lip gloss, and I just sprayed a couple of my favorite little perfume sprays on here, and I just feel good. I feel better. And how about when you wear something beautiful? And that's one of the things that Isha is all about, is wearing things that make you feel good. When you feel good, you come up with that extra little sass in your step, little, you feel more confident, and that comes out. And I think Isha is a beautiful example and exemplifies confidence. You think of a woman who shows confidence, and you think of someone like Isha. How does she present herself physically? She stands up tall. She's not just beautiful on the outside, although she is, yes, she is, but she's beautiful on the inside too. Or you think of 2 women to me who are very different, Audrey Hepburn and Sophia Loren, completely different physically, so different, sense of fashion, different, different, different. But they both show up very confident in who they are. They're unique, they're different, they're themselves. All right, if you want to prepare an area that you want to grow in or something new you want to try, you think of 3 steps, identify 3 steps, little chunks to get there. Like, for example, I wanted to go live on Instagram, but I didn't know how to do that. I jumped on a couple lives, that helped me. I talked to people who've done it before, that helped me. I made my outline, that helped me. Those were my steps. Also, when it comes to preparing, doing that kind of research and then tracking your progress. And then you need people. You need at least 1 person or 2 people to encourage you, to help you with accountability, to help you with inspiration. Maybe you want a mentor. And it doesn't have to be this big formal, will you be my mentor? It can just be, hey, I know you've done this thing before. Tell me about that. What was that like? Also, collaboration. I reached out to Isha and said, oh, I would love to collaborate with you and be a part of what you're doing now, because it's so wonderful. And I think most or many women want to share and want to be helpful to one another. Also, your psyche, your mind. Listen, what are you saying to yourself? You need to say positive things. You need to focus on what is, not what if, what is, and then collect inspiration. And that's like what I was talking about in that quote at the beginning that touched me and reached me so much. I collected that. And if there are quotes, if there are pictures, you can do a vision board, you can do a Pinterest page, you can do whatever works for you. Just write it down and pin it somewhere you can see it every day. That's what works for me. Practice doing it scared. Think of athletes, think of actors. A lot of things that we do require that we're excited, but we're also nervous. We're also a little scared. That's okay. Act as if. Right now, smile. Okay, if you smile, your brain does all this fun chemical stuff. Right now, your brain did not know that you told it to smile. It just knew that you smiled, and so all the good stuff happened. Act as if. It starts again with the physical. Self-care, you got to take care of yourself, whatever that looks like and whatever time you have. Keep track of your progress. Take that time to reflect. Take 1 more step and repeat. Repeat. 1 more step and repeat. So you just keep going. So the choice is yours. Do you want to be full bloom? Do you not mind being tied in the bud? Do you want to be somewhere in between? That part's up to you. But what I will say is that we need you to do the thing that only you can do. What are you waiting for? Go bloom. Okay, you should tell that story about how we met. This was so wonderful, ladies. Thank you for having me. I really, really enjoyed preparing this for you and having this time with you.
Oh
Thank you.
my gosh, this was mind blowing. This was so great, Rochelle. So if you want to quit sharing your screen, let's have a little conversation.
Yes,
Make
yes,
sure that
stop
we're both
share.
on here. That was just
There, yes, yes,
amazing. And I think one of the reasons that we're so attracted to each other is that we're just passionate, but like feel good. This is what God called us to do, is to be happy,
yes.
feel good, to feel confident in who we are. And really just, I love how there was so much. Like I got a list of things I got to do now. And I feel like I'm pretty good at a lot of this. But
Yes, you are.
I love that it's just like get to know yourself, be
Yes.
okay with who you are. And if you don't fully know who you are, it's okay. You have plenty of time with yourself to be able to do this, right? But making the time, but wow, pouring yourself into this was amazing. So I already know that you're so fabulous and your podcast is so great. I've been on with you a couple of times and I so enjoy listening to it when I'm out in nature, my beautiful area that I live in and walking. I listen to your fabulous voice and you have so many incredible people that you brought on, but your mission is very clear. And I love that you're also so honest about like, hey, I don't always feel this great, this perfect, this great.
All right. Yes.
A lot of times when, and thank you for all the sweet compliments to me. And a lot of times I think when people see us as being really confident, they think, oh, that she just has it all figured out and it's perfect all the time. And no, that is not. It takes work all of the time, which is so, so great. So I love that. Oh my gosh, when you said write out 10 things you like about yourself, I literally went, you know, I could come up with a few, but it was really a fascinating thing that I think how great to even set a reminder on your phone where once a quarter, sit down and write 10 things you like about yourself. I have been working with young girls in confidence camp, as you know, and it's so much of this is what I'm saying to them. And I'm like, practice what you preach, sister, right here, right? Because 10 things is a lot of things. It's hard for women to find one thing that they like about themselves, right? And so, I always, and on top of that, like those 10 things, but also it's like, hey, if you see something negative or feel something negative, one thing nice, right? When we see pictures of ourselves, we're always like, oh,
Yeah.
make yourself find the nice thing first. The
Yep.
negative's always going to be there. It is part of our culture. It is what's ingrained in us. It just is. And so totally loved that. And then, wow, what a powerful statement of what I do with this is my responsibility.
Yeah.
A little fragile today. Like I've been in tears today. I kind of told you when we first got on. And that just made me go, none of us have it figured out. We're not meant to. We're not expected to. It is a daily walk. Which by the way, I can't believe you're in your 60s and that you're talking like that because hi, look how gorgeous you are and and you have braces on. So you look like you're
I
12.
do. I get them off. I get them off September 4th. I'm so excited.
Oh, I bet you're so excited. Quick side note, I was teaching confidence camp and all the girls are 9 to 12. I have 20 of them this week. And we were all saying our name and how old we were and what we liked about the day before because we had a new person come in. And all of a sudden I thought, I wonder how old they think I am. I said, I'll start. I said, but how old do you think I am? Girl, they said 26, 24. 28. And I was like, oh, yes, yes. And then I said, I'm 52. And they screamed. And then one of them said, oh my gosh, my dad is that old. So listen, we got to rock it while we can rock it, right?
That's right. That's right.
And you know what? And I really love the diversity and the personality test that you said, because that I think is really fascinating. I've done some of those too, and they all really can share, like have different components to them, different things that give you. And I love that each one of those feels like something different. But then once you have all that, you really can put it together for yourself. So completely fascinating. And I want to control when I see social media. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus.
Oh,
All of that. Because
yes.
honestly, that is my almost my entire business is on social media, and it is, and it is a really fine line and it changes often. And so we have to do a lot to protect ourselves. But I'm telling you, I agree with every word you said. And I think it's so fascinating. So those of you who are curious about how we met, we both were in having mammograms. And it was when I was living in San Diego, and we were sitting in the very cold, scary room with just not much, the very thin thing, no support anywhere, right? Getting ready to go in
All
and
right, let me add something. We
yes,
have both had, uh, um, what would you call it? Ambiguous by, mammograms.
yeah.
We had to come back. These were
So,
follow-up mammograms.
so we were fearful.
Yes.
We were fearful, and that room, it's a big room because we're in San Diego. So there's a lot of people that come through that breast center. And it was funny, at one point, the whole room cleared out. And we just looked at each other, look at Mitzi. I'm like, whoa, I don't know what's going on. And we looked over at each other, and this conversation started, and it was so deep and such a sisterhood. And then they called us away. And I remember feeling frantic when I got out of like, I have to find this woman and give her my card. And I was asking the tech who was with me, I was like, we have to find her. And we did connect again and got each other's information. And we've been for how long ago was that?
I don't even know. 7 years ago,
It was
maybe?
probably seven, yeah, probably
Yeah.
7, maybe even 8 years ago. But I think of you
Yes.
whenever I got to go have the boobies checked.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that is a true sisterhood, right? Because
Yes,
it's
it
something you can
is.
relate to, the fear, and then building each other up and then sharing the experience together. So, you're just fantastic. I just love you so much. And I love what you're doing in the world and how passionate you are about everything. So thank you so much for joining us here at the Social Club Live. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in and who will get to watch this in the future. Make sure that you go check out her podcast. You really do have quite the variety of people on there. It's fascinating. And you're so good at writing the little teaser line where I'm like, what is she up to now? I got to listen to this one. Time to go for a walk.